wear lots of tags. Okay, she's an MD student. She's an instructor in music department. She's a musician. She's also an entrepreneur. You funded your own business, your own studio in 2001. So it started as a very small business, but eventually has been developed into a global recognized brand. So today she's going to focus on all the challenges in the past 23 years you have been through, especially focus on brand repositioning. Okay, without further ado, we have Eryn here.
Thank you for having me today. So, as I have been mentioned, we are going to be speaking about Raffe Studio. So you might be wondering, okay, Raffe Studio, we're looking at the overall, I'm Eryn Oft. What is Raffe Studio, or who is Raffe Studio? Okay, a little bit of a spoiler alert, it is both a who and a what, because it is a corporation, and I am the corporation. We'll also be speaking to the marketing strategy. We'll be recognizing a need to reposition, and we'll be discussing the new marketing strategies. Some of the key themes we'll be discussing are the need to reposition the brand, also what it means to be a media influencer in today's market, customer relationships and how that is impacted through being an influencer, the larger social responsibility that goes with becoming popular, the competitive advantage that the brand has through interpersonal communications, and then also how that impacts brand alliances. Okay, so let's dive in. Who or what is Raffe Studio? Okay, it is directly linked to my greater profession, which is being a musician. I am a bassoonist. This is a woodwind instrument. I am guessing most of you are probably not as familiar as you'd like to be with the orchestral world. So I have included a picture of a bassoon. Okay, this is not two bassoons, this is one bassoon. This is the front of the bassoon, and this is the back of the bassoon. What my corporation does, we facilitate donations to major nonprofit organizations. This bassoon that you're looking at right here, just to get started in the market, is going to run about $10,000. Once someone hits the professional market level status, that's going to exceed $60,000. So the ability to facilitate donations to nonprofits is a core value of the company. I also take care of instrument repair and servicing of the instruments. I do educational outreach that highlights social responsibility, typically focusing on historically marginalized composers and artists. I offer a very high level of professional service. This is going to be education, but it is also going to be performance, as I am a performance-based artist. To give you an idea of what that looks like, we'll go forward. This is me on stage. If you look in the upper corner, I actually included an arrow to help you. That's me. Okay?
You can see that.
All right. If you look down here, you have hip-hop artist and legend, Rick Ross. And if you look right here, this is CeeLo Green. And this is from my most recent concert. So when I'm speaking to high-level performances, this is part of what Raffe Studio offers on a broader picture scale. If we go backwards, the business model. We have some core values. These core values for the past 23 years have pushed the highlights of the business. It has directed every choice that has been made. So we have building socially responsible music communities. These are going to be both online and in person. This is built through establishing trust and an accessible engagement. The instrument, because of the high price tag and also the inaccessibility of some of the key elements of the instrument, it has largely been very elitist. So one of the key elements is to build accessible engagements, and then of course, as I mentioned, high quality experiences. Let's talk about the original marketing strategy. Again, this business has existed for 24 years, so there has been a recognition as technology platforms have evolved to start shifting some of those ideas. The original idea was to meet all the bassoonists where they were at. This meant an extreme marketing strategy. This was going to focus on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, or now X as you might refer to it, Snapchat, YouTube, and also I had my professionally branded YouTube website and channel, okay? So all of those were linked together. It was meet them where they're at. This is important because most of the platforms that people will choose to engage on in regards to social media are going to be age-based. Because they're age-based, you're not going to build a diverse audience unless you are accessible to where they're at, okay? Now, by building a diverse audience, I'm able to also skew social media algorithms. I'm able to skew the social media algorithms because it creates a diverse, discussion-based content. So in the comment sections, you get a variety of opinions. Not everyone is going to agree, especially when it comes to art. And because engagement is engagement, positive and negative, that means that every single one of the platforms would push my media to more viewers, and then I was able to build a community. To help you get an idea about this, this is my age demographics for my YouTube channel since the time of starting. Of course, you can see that there is a higher amount of the younger bassoonists that are, of course, just starting out. Then you can see that we have a bit of pushing to those bassoonists that are looking to become professionals, and then it does start to edge off. The key component, which doesn't look impressive to start, but I am most proud of, is hitting this demographic of people who typically, when they hit this stage of life, stop making music. The ability to cue this audience in and also hit the younger metrics shows a diversity of audience that pushes the social media algorithms. Okay, how did I do this? Where did it start from? So let's dig into more of the marketing strategy. I needed my products to be memorable. There are bassoonists out there that are already creating YouTube content, but I needed it to be unique to me. So what I did is I made sure that I had a brand mascot. Very early on in my younger studies, I learned that Mickey Mouse was popular for Disneyland, largely because he was a mascot for the brand. I was aware that businesses that have a mascot do perform better in regards to memorability. I also made sure that my mascot was part of the videos and served as creating a bit of a whimsical tone. So here is a snap from one of my YouTube videos. Of course, you can see me, and then you can also see the giraffe. As a solo entrepreneur, the utilization of the giraffe was also helpful in the fact that I was using a DSLR camera. This is before TikTok. This is before everyone was just filming on their phones. I was using a high definition camera for YouTube. That's part of the popularity. The challenge was I could not get myself as a solo entrepreneur in focus and set the lighting while sitting in the same place. So what I did is I put the giraffe in focus, and then I sat next to the giraffe, because if the giraffe was in focus, then I was in focus. Early on, I realized that if I left this there, it would be a form of product branding, and it worked. The whimsical tone is that I animate the giraffe. So the giraffe serves as a sort of co-host. It comments on the action. You can see here that the giraffe is obviously shocked. I am, in this case, speaking to a portion of the bassoon that I am using, the reeds, and those reeds had aged over 4 years before I ever used them. So that means I made the product, I waited 4 years, I let it age, very similar to that of a fine wine, and then began using it. So this is shocking in the bassoon world, and therefore the giraffe is shocked. By using the giraffe, it gave me the freedom to evolve. If we look at some of the early entrepreneurs like Bob Ross, he spoke to the fact that he was not able to ever change his hairstyle because it gave him notoriety, right? So early on in his career, he got a perm, and then he was stuck with that perm forever. I was very scared. I like to change my hair. I like to change my look. The giraffe, because it is the brand anchor, is going to allow me to consistently evolve. It also, among viewers, became an ideology for aiming for the highest or sticking your neck out. When I began to notice that I needed to reposition the brand, okay, this is when you know we're dealing with the music industry, because I don't know how else to say this. This portion becomes sex, drugs, and rock and roll, if you will. I filmed this video, Balloons and Bassoons. Okay? This video struck an undesirable chord, if you will. This video tapped an audience that I had unintended. Prior to filming this video, I was unaware that there is a site of the internet that has a balloon fetish. And when I mean a balloon fetish, it's a sexual fetish. If you remember from the earlier slides how much of my demographic is younger, this showed me that my increased community growth was not all of the community growth of just bassoonists, but it actually turned out to be a sexual side of the internet, and they were commenting quite regularly on all of the media. If you are on every media platform and all of your media platform turns into a sexual tone overnight, it needs a revamping or a repositioning. Okay? This is going to also make sure that I keep with the core values. So what I have done is minimize down the number of platforms that I am on at this point in time, largely to make sure that I can still meet consumer needs and core values. Okay, so this is also aligning with much of the major media platforms in today's day and age evolving. So as part of that, we have Facebook and Twitter, or X, and they have deregulated hate speech. As an individual who works in the arts, that is extremely problematic. That's going to be at least a quarter of my key demographic. Okay? Again, these are platforms that are no longer in alignment with Raffe Studio's core values, and for that reason, there's a need to reposition. It also became problematic in the fact that some of the fans that I had became super fans. And now, I'm not speaking to the super fans that I mentioned earlier that had a sexual fetish. I'm speaking to the fans that I had that were very bassoon-oriented. They loved the bassoon. They followed my entire journey. They followed me remodel. They followed me moving. They followed me creating an album. They were part of the album creation. But everything went wrong when I realized that I got a message from a bassoonist that had gotten on a bus, and he was an older gentleman, and he contacted me via social media to tell me that he was going to be at my house in an hour to make me and my students dinner for the evening. I never met him in person. I had only shared a series of maybe 2 or 3 comments on his comments on my videos, and that was it. We had polite conversation, but because he felt he knew me, he felt it was appropriate to show up on my doorstep. So there's a social boundary and also a disconnect that can happen between fans. For this reason, I have moved into corporate security, and I have begun outlining to the viewers, to my community, that there are boundaries. Oh my goodness, I have 2 minutes. So, in the interest of time, we will keep pushing forward. So, yes, security systems are now in place, and not only are security systems now in place, but outlined to all community members that you will be refused service if you just show up. Okay. We also had a challenge with the interaction of online product reviews. During the time of COVID-19, many of the businesses had sent me product for review. The problems with those companies is that they started faltering during the COVID-19. It hit the music business quite hard. They could not guarantee financial success as most of the music industry was shut down due to not being able to have large amounts of people in one location. Because of that, most of the companies that had sent me products for review began sending me harassment and threats when I would give them honest reviews. So that was another portion where I recognized the need to shift and reposition as a company. Okay, so here is where we're going. I am limiting the platform engagement to the best options. This is going to be the short and long form video. I'm moving to the most popular of TikTok, YouTube, and as well Instagram Reels. I'm aware at this point that I have already spoken to Facebook and also Facebook and Facebook Messenger app not being the most beneficial. That being said, we will continue to reposition to stick with the core values of Raffe Studio moving forward. I've also added in moving to the Patreon platform as it refuses to allow for any hate speech or hate groups on the platform. This will also allow for an income to help support some of the offsetting of the hostile industry elements that I have been challenged by. I also see a need to increase the YouTube subscriber base. So if you enjoyed today's presentation, I also speak on music entrepreneurship. So please like and subscribe, as that does help my overall demographics, and it will push my business to be able to outreach further, and that allows for donation of instruments.
Is this your name, Eryn, in YouTube?
Pardon? It is my
name?
Yes, it is my name, Eryn Oft. Yes. Okay. So as you can see, even at its peak performance, we can see that I only had a small amount of subscribers, but because of my algorithms being pushed to such an extreme, I was not able to get those lines closer together. My goal moving forward is to get those lines to match up. Through interaction with industry, I was aware that I had a problem when I was receiving hostile threats from various companies. I have, at this point, engaged a legal and a financial team to handle all terms of agreements moving forward, removing me from the situation. By removing myself from the situation, I will not be pressed into legal matters, but yet my lawyers will. I also have seen the power of having a community, and the community that comments on the actions, as well as having a diverse perspective of the interaction with industry. As part of that, I am looking to create collaborative product reviews. This allows for the safety and protection of Raffe Studio on other boutique small businesses. So it gives them a support team. It will allow the community that watches the videos a greater perspective on non-biased bassoon products, and it will help with continued community growth as I pull in other boutique businesses. The people that follow those businesses will then be asked to join the Raffe Studio community. And that is what I have for you. I hope it was still on time.
Anybody have any questions for our speaker?
Quick question. Have you thought about having project management aspects into it, your business?
Are you speaking to hiring other individuals, or are you speaking to, I'm not sure I understand the question.
Mainly hiring other individuals with your skill set. Handling a bassoon and business as well.
Ideally, I would love to. The challenge that I run into is, as far as bassoon repair technicians, I'm one of 3 in the entire United States. So oftentimes when people are sending in questions, having a network that I feel that I can facilitate to answer those questions in an effective manner is a bit of a challenge. That being said, that is, I think, a great element that you're adding in, and that is in part why I'm seeking to partner with smaller other boutique businesses in the bassoon community.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was a great question. Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, round of applause again for our speaker.